Today's how to build is on Minecraft spiders, cave spiders, and spider jockeys. If you like this video, here are some other how to build videos you might enjoy. I received over 50 comments asking to see how to build a Minecraft spider, so that's what we're going to do today. So remember, if there's something you want to see me build, put a message in the comments because that's how I decide what I build in the future. Now, working at this tiny scale, there's not a lot of room for detail in the spider and cave spider. Steve is only this big. The official Lego spider piece actually works really well as the spider. Another option you could do is a 1x1 brick with circle clip on the side and a 1x1 tile on top of that for black. I thought that got across the shape of a spider. The cave spiders are much smaller than normal spiders, so the only thing I could really do for that in this scale is a 1x1 black plate. Boring and uninteresting, but there's not a lot of room for detail at the tiny scale. So a recurring theme throughout this video is going to be that the cave spider for any given scale is going to be the same as the regular spider was for the previous scale. So for the Micromob scale, for the cave spider, you can just use what we used for the regular spider at the tiny scale. So real Lego spider, I'll have a link to that in the description, or this plate with a tile on top. So let's see how to build these two new spider versions. So this first variation uses a bunch of illegal Lego techniques, so I don't highly recommend it, but I thought it looked pretty cool. So I'm taking two of these sort of robot arms that have a bend in them, taking a 1x1 plate with clip on top and sticking it on the center of that arm. It's a hard connection to make, but it is doable. I've sort of worn up these clips a little bit. And then on one of them you're going to put a 1x1 plate on top of the clip. So once you've got those two halves, you're going to knock Steve over in the background and then take one of these Lego rubber bands, smallest one you can find, line those two pieces up at the arm, twist the rubber band around one side, twist it around to the other side, and you're probably going to need to do a second loop on that side. It should hold the two bits together. Looks pretty good. It's about the right size for a spider for the scale of Steve. Another way to build the spider at this scale that's a lot easier on the hands. Take a 1x1 plate with a round clip on it. Take a 1x2 plate with handles on it. Put a 1x1 plate in there. I'm using round, doesn't really matter, just fill in the space in. Another one of those 1x2s. On the front, just put a 1x1 plate on the bottom. I used a little paint to put some red dots for the eyes on the front of the spider. It's a little tall, but these Micromob things end up usually being a little bit taller, but I thought this was the best way to get across some legs for the spider at this scale, aside from, what I did over there. So again, that would be the spider, and this would be the cave spider at this scale. For the minifig scale, we're going to start with a 1x1 brick with studs on two of the sides. Flip it on the side there. In front of it, we're going to put an old style headlight brick. And behind it, we're going to do an old style headlight brick. And the very back, a new style headlight brick. On the top here, we're going to put a 1x2 tile. The top here, we're going to do a 1x1 tile. For the face, do a 1x1 tile. And then you can paint some red dots on for the eyes. For the legs, these T pieces are going to be a nice little connector here. Fortunately, they only really come in light gray. If I had them in black, I'd be doing that instead, but use what you got. So stick those in nicely. And then we're going to use a bunch of these robot arms, the bent versions. Get 8 of those. So clip them on to the sides here. So the two central legs you just want to clip right on, but for the front and back leg you want to sort of clip it on at an angle there, if possible. This is, again, a precarious way to clip things, but it looks more like the spider if they're clipped on that way. So sometimes it's easier to clip it on in the front and then twist it to the side. Or for the back, clip it onto the back here, and then twist it in. Reattach the abdomen here. Do the same thing on the other side. So that's the full-size spider at this scale. Again, for the cave spider, you'd pull in a smaller version, so I'd use the Micromob scale here. The appropriate length and height to the minifig. Spider, 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 spider. For the 3 scale spider, let's start building the abdomen. 2x3 plate, 2x2 brick, 2 headlight bricks, and cover up the top with some tile. So I've got 2x2 and a 1x2. Then for the center, do some 1x1 bricks with studs on one side, pointing that way. For the head, start with a 2x2 plate. In the back, do one of these Technic bricks with 2 holes in a 1x2. Do a 1x2 plate with 2 red 1x1s. Another 1x2 plate. And top it off with a 2x2 tile. Stick those in like so. For the legs, it's going to be very similar to the smaller scale. Going to use these gray T pieces again for the connection point. And then the way we're building the leg here is it's one of these telescope or like fence pieces, and one of these sort of pinchbot arms, robot arms. So you stick it in that side to make it slightly shorter than doing it that way, which is just a little too long. And then you're going to connect them to the T-pieces. So one thing you'll notice is you want to pull the T-piece out just a little bit so that the center ones have a nice room to tilt up and down. The outer ones you're going to want to angle down in interesting ways. Kind of amazing how much you can position these clips outside of what the normal positioning would be. Just speaks to the greatness of the Lego system, that it can work even in ways Lego doesn't intend it to. Voila! 3 scale spider. So that's a nice spider for the 3 scale version of Minecraft, and the one we built at minifig scale now works as a nice cave spider at this scale. And both of them can attack Steve at the same time. Sorry, Steve. So down at the tiny scale, you're going to want to take one of these official Lego spiders and get a tiny piece of flex tubing that you cut to about the length of a Lego plate or brick. Stick it in the clip of the mouth, and then stick a white 1x1 plate with clip on the front. Do another one of those on top, and a 1x1 plate and a 1x1 tile. So this is a significant deviation from my tiny scale skeleton I originally did, because I realized I could actually give it a little bow at this scale. So this is one of those bucket handles that I used in the villager build. So that's a pretty cool Spider Jockey right there. Now if you don't have this spider piece, take the spider that you built this way as a tile on top of a clip, remove the tile and turn it into a plate. And then you can stick your little skeleton rider right on top and go attack Steve, because that's what this is all about. Pew pew! At the Micromob scale, you're going to want to take one of these neck brackets for a minifigure, stick it on this way. Now this is sort of a modified version of my Micromob skeleton. So there's 2 headlight bricks. I'm going to switch it to go that way and put a 1x1 plate with clip on the front to do the feet. It's the same bow construction. Tan plate with round clips and then some cheese slopes in brown. Stick that on the side and stick the skeleton on top. It does have a tendency to fall forward, so you could use some putty to connect it where you want it. At the minifigure scale, there's no real way to connect a skeleton to a seat in Lego because they don't have holes on them. So I'm just using some white putty, sticking it there, and then sticking it onto the spider. So that's a non-Lego connection, but they didn't leave us much choice here, and it still looks like a lot of fun. So if you built the 3-scale skeleton the way I did, you should have studs on the bottom there. Add another 1x2 on to make it tall enough to sit on the spider. You can see I bent the legs out at an angle here. Take the back of the spider and flip it around upside down, and then you can clip in the newly made butt of the skeleton on top. Skeleton Jockey! So if you built a skeleton with a studs facing up technique rather than my studs facing down technique, to seat it on top of a spider, you're probably going to want to take off that 1x2 tile, put a 1x2 plate, and then stick that way up, and then that'll give you a nice little seating area for your skeleton. I'm going to just break off some spider legs here. Skeleton Jockey! Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave comments telling me what you want to see me build in the future. If you like this video, here are some other how to build videos you might enjoy. Spider. Is that called the abdomen? I don't really know what parts of spiders are. Skeleton Jockey. Oh, he's falling over. Why does it make that? Why am I making that noise? That's not a noise.